Before today, I'd never even tasted an artichoke. I've heard the word, I know it exists, but I couldn't tell you a single thing people actually make with it until Americans started flooding our comments saying,
you have to try spinach and artichoke dip on game day.
Hello everyone, I am David, this is Nikita, and welcome back to Mr. H and Friends.
Today we're going to be making a spinach and artichoke dip, one of the most popular American game day snacks, and it's something that's completely normal in the US, but a little bit strange to us Brits. Okay, I was going to start with the obvious, but when I said to you artichokes last night, what did you say?
I thought it was those little fish.
Anchovies, and I think that's quite common. I think a lot of people get the two mixed up over here because I don't think we really cook at home with either of those two things. So as you can imagine, artichokes aren't big here in the UK, and I did have to look it up online to see if we could get them, and we could in the supermarket, but they're usually jarred and marinated. I don't think we get them quite the same as you get them over there in the cans.
So the burning question for me is, what actually is an artichoke?
Now in my head, I pictured an artichoke as something that after going to the supermarket, I realised I was picturing fennel, but I've learned that artichokes are actually flower buds.
Well, like seeds?
No, like the bud of a flower, like the actual flower part. So the part of the artichoke you eat is the heart, which makes sense because they're sold as artichoke hearts. And by all accounts, they're tender, nutty, but quite mild. Most of America's supply comes from California, which I believe is the place that eats the most artichoke. So if we've got any Californians out there and you love a little artichoke, let us know down in the comments.
What are we doing first?
We're gonna get on with the spinach. Over to the hob. Now, a lot of you in this kind of recipe would use frozen and thawed spinach, but I went and bought fresh spinach. So I did read in one of the recipes that you can actually have spinach. You just need to cook it up a little bit, let it wilt, and then drain it. So that's what we're gonna do. Spinach always goes down to pretty much nothing, so I'm putting a bit more in there than probably is needed, and I'll work out if I've got too much or too little. Because this is an American recipe, I thought I'd do it in butter. I know we're going to be draining it anyway, but you know, butter's flavour, isn't it? And we are loving cooking with butter nowadays. We probably didn't ever really fry anything in butter. One of my favourite things since doing this channel is green beans fried in butter. Love them.
So, just very quickly, my burning question is, when do we add bacon?
Spinach and artichoke dip is an absolute game day snack. Now, a lot of you reached out in the comments when we did that buffalo chicken dip and said you have to try spinach and artichoke dip. So something that you guys would have during any sports season. It doesn't matter what sport it is, you guys seem to be eating this. And the reason why is creamy, it's comforting, it's perfectly scoopable, and it's one of those things that you can eat quite comfortably, either alone or with a group of friends. That spinach is done. I'm just letting it cool down before I drain it, so we better get on with the rest of this dip. In here we have got some cream cheese and some mayonnaise. Do you want to give that a little mix?
Now, I just want to tell the good folks at home, I have got zero idea what this is going to be like, what the presentation is going to be. I know it's a dip. I don't know what you dip in it. I literally have no idea. This is completely foreign and new to me. It's going to be a YouTube first for both of us.
It is. It'd be the first time either of us have had an artichoke, but yeah, we've never had the artichoke and spinach dip before. Now, by all accounts, this has been engineered to be highly addictive.
Wow, okay.
You've got the cream cheese to give it the richness, the sour cream and the mayo to give it a bit of tang, and you've got some cheese.
Whoa. All the good stuff.
That's going to give it a bit of stretch.
Talking of stretch, since we've been doing this channel, there's a bit of a stretch going on in my t-shirts.
You and me both. You've also got the spinach, which makes it feel like you're being slightly responsible and eating spinach.
I'll pick those bits out.
And apparently the artichokes are going to give it a bit of texture and balance. So everything that sounds really good for a good dip.
I know you've explained it beautifully, but I still don't have any idea or clue what it's going to look like or taste like. No idea. This is completely foreign.
So now we need to go in with a clove of garlic. Now this is something that Americans are really good at. You take ingredients which are perhaps a little bit boring on their own, and then you put them all together, create a dish that is highly comforting and addictive and goes within minutes. You do things like spinach. Okay, so you've got spinach in a dip. No one ever sits there on game day and goes, I'm gonna have a bowl of spinach.
When you first said this, I was like, no one eats that.
Let us know, do you eat spinach and artichoke dip? Judging by the comments on that last video, a lot of you do. So we're just gonna go in with a little bit of basil.
Or is it basil? I'm still confused. I'm still really confused. Sorry guys, but alien to me, this is.
I quite like spinach. Spinach with cheese is really, really good. So spinach and ricotta is one of my favourite things.
I just think spinach is boring.
Oh, but it's so good for you, and that's why I like to try and eat it.
Yeah, it's boring though.
Okay, so all that talk of spinach, we better add it into the dip. So I'm just gonna try and drain this.
Hey.
Okay, so I'm gonna pop in that spinach as well. Gently mix that in.
Ooh, what's Mummy doing?
Okay, then let's go in with the artichokes, which is where we have this massive cultural food gap between American cuisine and UK cuisine. We get these in a jar and they've got a bit of parsley and garlic in with them. So this could be quite a garlicky dip. Now these feel like a little bit fancy.
And as our friend Cowboy Kent Rowling says, you can't get full on fancy.
Okay, I really think it's as simple as that. We just need to get this into an oven-proof dish now, and we're gonna cook this one up.
So my favourite dip is definitely the buffalo chicken dip. That was outstanding. If you haven't seen it, check that video out. But for me, that was the best dip I've ever had, and I'm not convinced on this one. The cheese does smell quite strong, so I'm not quite sure how I feel about that.
It might have been better to pop some mozzarella on top, but you know, we're following the recipe and we're gonna see what this one tastes like. Now for once, I would actually like you to go first for this one.
Creamy, tasty, nothing like I was expecting.
You've gone for second, so that's a good thing.
Yep.
Oh, there's an artichoke. Okay, tell me about this artichoke after you've tried it. Was it hot or? Okay, I thought that was like a grimace of eating an artichoke. I was getting even more worried.
Is there like vinegar in there?
Dunno.
That's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Is it as good as a buffalo chicken dip? I'm not sure. It tastes a lot better than it sounds.
Like you said, creamy. The first taste I'm getting is the garlic, then I'm getting the creaminess. It smells more cheesy than it actually is. Obviously it is cheesy because it's got the cream cheese in it, but it's not overpoweringly cheesy. I like the spinach. The artichoke, yeah, I didn't get much flavour.
But that could be down to our artichokes.
It's a subtle taste.
There is something going on there that I can't quite work out. Now, when I Googled this earlier, I saw a lot of pictures of people trying this with chips. So I'm going to try it with some chips as well.
Of the recipes that I've looked at, they did say you could have it with various different things, but they recommended crusty bread, which is what we've done. Those artichokes, texture-wise, it is reminding me a little bit of cabbage, but also something else, like almost like an onion, not in taste, but in texture. So a cross between cabbage and onion. For somebody that hasn't had artichoke before, that is the way I'd describe the texture. Like I said, really mild, very subtle, not overpowering. The flavour I'm getting though is garlic.
I'm getting the flavour of garlic as well, but I can actually taste the spinach. It's kind of put me off a little bit.
Oh, has it? I like spinach.
So hopefully, maybe some of the salt from these chips might revolutionise it. Now, if you're watching this and you love this dip, I don't mean any disrespect, it's just my initial reactions. There's a lot of spinach on that.
You did seem to go for more spinach. I was kind of finding it a bit funny.
Pack this up as like a little sandwich. Okay. For me, it tastes better with the chips, but I think it's because it's salted and you're adding a bit more salt to it.
I prefer the bread.
Do you? So when you're a bit older, you'll be able to have some of this. I think the artichokes need to be a bit smaller because they're quite bulky and kind of overpowering. less spinach and add bacon.
I'm enjoying this. The artichokes, I think the texture thing is surprising me a little bit, and I think that is probably down to me putting them in too large. Do I like this? Yes. Am I in love with it? No. I'm quite happy with the spinach ratio and everything else. I just don't think I'm really accustomed to those artichokes. They're a little bit strange for me.
I would definitely try them again, but with much smaller pieces of artichoke and maybe mozzarella on top. I'd like to try it then. But marks out of 10 for me. I'm probably going to go for a 6 out of 10.
If I take the artichokes out the way, I think it's a good 8. But when I put the artichokes in, or have a mouthful with artichoke, I've got to downgrade it. And I was going to say about a 6 as well.
If you did enjoy this video, give it a like.
And all that leaves us to say is...
Take care.
God bless.
And see y'all in the next video.